We're talking about it again. We're talking about Donald Mustard announcing his official retirement, but today we're gonna ask why, because there's been some things floating around, and today maybe we can uncover it. Of course, we may or may not ever know the information of exactly why, or if there's any drama or anything like that, but we can speculate. We can talk about Fortnite, we can talk about Donald Mustard, we can talk about all of that stuff in today's video. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels, and welcome back to the reply room where I ask you guys a question or post a statement and I take your responses and make them into a video. Today, what I'm going to be asking is, do you think there is a reason why Donald Mustard announced his retirement? I ask because there's a theory going around that he has been upset with Epic for possibly changing his storyline. For example, the paradigm being pre-Larson. It doesn't have to be surrounding that specifically, that's just an example. So as always with the reply room, I take your responses guys and I make them into a video. Let's get into it. Thank you for being here everybody. I think he just wanted to move on to something new. I think everything story related was discussed with Donald and was asked if he agreed it. Now with chapter 4, it was probably just him slowly building off from the story and giving it to the new chief and possible a new team behind the story. Now we do know at this point, I don't remember when the time that I posted this was, that it is Charlie Wen taking over, but as far as I know, he hasn't been really working on anything behind the scenes. But if he's retiring, maybe he's probably not moving on to something new. So I don't know if I necessarily agree with this one personally. I don't think he's upset. I believe Donald Mustard retired from Fortnite and Epic Games on good terms. I feel like he's reached a point in life where he's accomplished everything that he wanted to, like making a lot of money, developing, succeeding in a game like Fortnite, and just being known a lot in the gaming industry world, especially when it comes to the Game Awards and more events similar to it. For all we know, his grandkids don't even have to work a day in their lives because of the dedication and hard work Donald puts towards the game. Very well said. That is awesome for him. When many people are asked who the face of Fortnite is, majority wouldn't go ahead and say Tim Sweeney, rather it would be Donald Mustard again. Very true. Another factor to take in is something Dom Toretto fights for every day: family. Being a hardworking member at Epic Games, brainstorming ideas, and just doing a lot of coding really separates a person from his family time. And this is where I think Donald realized it. Why keep going ahead and making a fortune at the cost you lose those who you love, and vice versa the most? Because it's not like Donald would be forgotten so quickly. He created the story for Fortnite in such a way that I think it can exist even after my grave has been made. In other simpler words, he created a legacy. I have absolutely nothing to add to this. This was perfectly said, and I would imagine I'd agree with it too. He's built something crazy. Like, I'm open to the idea that Epic Games was floating different things around him that he didn't like and maybe forcing him, but I think ultimately him making the decision to retire was for family. If you take a look at anything that his brother says too, I'm sorry, I just realized my dog's in the background. If you take a look at anything that his brother has been doing, he's really big on family too. Those two are really tight, especially with kids and stuff like that. So I completely agree with this, to be honest with you. To me personally, I don't think it has to do with the storyline, because I think he even told us he wants to spend time with his family, and that is all Kyle. Now, that's probably true. I haven't heard him at, I actually haven't seen if he did any interviews. So if he did one, if anybody wants to link it down below or let me know, I would really appreciate that. In my opinion, I believe Donald originally planned to start stepping down after Chapter 3 Season 2, as a few rumors suggested. However, I believe it was Epic themselves that changed the lore for the paradigm. The reason for this is beforehand, Vibin was not really well received by the overall community, with the exception of the Dragon Ball Z update. Because of this, the player base numbers must have heavily dropped. To bring back the hype to the game and intrigue players, they changed a few plot points in the comics and made Brie Larson the paradigm in an attempt to bring players back, thinking it would have the same effect as The Rock as the Foundation. If that's true, I can't see that being a good idea behind anybody, to be honest with you. Anyways, I think after this, the Fracture event, Epic could have been making characters that fill a small storyline role for the length of a season, and then ditch them after at least until Chapter 5, where I hope Charlie, the new CCO, will come in and set his mark on the storyline, taking control and moving the story forward. In short, no, I think Donald was already on his way out the door by the time of Chapter 3 Season 3, or at least planning his leave forever. However, I do think he does have some criticisms about where Epic is taking the story, at least as of right now. That's probably true. I can't imagine, this is Donald Mustard's, child, you know what I mean, the storyline, Fortnite. So I would imagine that could have had something to do with it, but I ultimately do agree with Yest in the earlier point where it is mostly just about family. His grandkids can be off forever, so there could be a few things, but I ultimately do believe it was just for family. I don't think Donald Mustard would be upset to the point where he would consider retiring over Paradigm. It's more likely he just wanted to call it his time. I mean, for all we know, Donald more or less was probably semi-retired after Chapter 3 Season 2, with the Visitor teasing Donald Mustard's retirement and somewhat giving his story role to Epic for that time. However, I do think that besides for the paradigm, there were some massive storyline changes that got altered. I think that Chapter 4 Season 2 Mega and Chapter 4 Season 3 Wilds were originally meant to be Chapter 3 seasons, while Fractured wasn't meant to end Chapter 3 and was rushed for the Unreal Engine Fortnite. That could all be very true, and especially this point here when he said Donald was semi-retired after Chapter 3 Season 2. With the Visitor teasing Donald Mustard's retirement, we do have that. I do believe that was a message from Donald Mustard. Maybe, I don't know if it was, again, necessarily like, hey, I'm not happy with the storyline. It's just like, I'm thinking about hanging it up. I wholeheartedly believe that's Donald talking to us through the Visitor, through the first character of the Fortnite storyline. That can be true, but I also, honestly, I agree with this whole point. When you are a writer, if you lose your passion for writing the story, it's going to be super difficult, even impossible in some circumstances, to gain that back. The way I see it, it's one of two things. He started to feel like he couldn't do a story just because of Epic's influence on the storyline. Maybe it was Epic wanted chapters to be yearly. Maybe it was Epic wanting Brie Larson to be the paradigm instead of what Donald wanted, which could have been Singularity or something else, and he probably started to lose excitement over what he was doing. Or he's getting older, not old, but I can see him starting to realize what's more important to him or what he was missing as he was giving so much time to his work. He wants to be with his family, who I'm sure missed him a lot of special moments with. He didn't want to miss those anymore, which I think is a super important realization to have at some point in everyone's life. I think in any case, his retirement was 100% the right decision for him. Man, you guys are like making so many things. Also, Georgie, I appreciate you coming into the server, helping make these videos, but man, with this reply room today, I don't have too much to add because everyone's being like understandable about Donald Mustard's retirement, and like, you know what, maybe it could have been this, maybe it could have been that. I also agree with this point. Let's get one more in for today though. Yes, there's no way he wanted the core characters of the storyline to be collaborations. I refuse to believe that. The storyline was his baby, and Epic probably put their paws all over it once they found out he wanted to work with Brie Larson. He probably had some grand reveal for the paradigm, but had to change so much up. I would retire too. Now, honestly guys, this is possible. It is possible, but I'm ultimately on the side of he's retiring because of his age and with his family and stuff like that we already talked about throughout the video. But it's true, man. Epic Games could have had their paws all over the Fortnite storyline. They could have just changed up the paradigm, and Donald Mustard was waiting all this time for the Singularity, and he's like, well, what can I do? I'm going to retire. That's all very possible, but Donald Mustard has not been vocal about any of this. I really hope one day we do get to find out, like, if there's any particular reason why he was retiring. Maybe when the Clen channel's really huge and we can have him on the channel, that would be absolutely amazing. But guys, as of right now, unless any more news comes out, this is probably going to be the last video that we're talking about Donald Mustard and his retirement. So let me know what you think. If there's any reason that we haven't discussed on why Donald Mustard has been taking off from Epic Games, let me know what you think down below. And thank you so much for watching this video, everybody. Thank you so much to everyone who helped make this video. If you want to help make any videos, hop on the Discord server, comment section, and pin comment and description down below, I meant to say. But guys, if you want to continue watching the Clen channel, there'll be 2 videos on screen for you to check out right here. I will see you either there or in the next video, guys. Take care. Oh, welcome to the Get the Videotape Minutes song, because we were just 5 seconds off. Watch one of the videos on the screen right now.